this is where I, pretend to do an intro, and then I realize about 5 seconds in I don't like the intro. We'll figure it out. I feel really nervous. There's a guy watching me from his apartment, and it's making me feel a little uncomfortable, but I'm so excited to be on this today because you guys, I checked off scuba diving from my adventure bucket list, and now I'm going to be checking off a big one. I am leaving the country. Kind of. Technically, yes. I'm leaving the country, but I'm going to Mexico, which is still out of the country, but obviously maybe not as exciting or as like going to Europe or over the water. I'll just be flying over the land. But I'm really excited because I have never left the country before, and the videos that I could film talking about the experiences of getting everything ready for scuba diving, from getting my passport to getting the flights to getting all of the information. Obviously I'm going to be scuba diving while I'm there, so making sure that I have the certification before I leave for scuba diving, which is gonna be in about 5 days from now. I am going to be leaving, and then I'll be there. We'll be there. We're going to, I believe it's called the Grand Principe Resort on the eastern side of Mexico. We'll be there for about 8 days. I have so many exciting things that I'm going to be doing while I'm there, and obviously we'll be bringing you guys along with me for that trip, doing kind of like a montage of the whole thing. But really, I wanted to, just like I did with the scuba diving, wanted to talk about some of the things that I'm a little nervous about, some of the things that I'm a little afraid about, and also some of the things that I'm really excited about when it comes to leaving the country. First of all, hello, I'll be checking it off on my bucket list, and that is something that I've always wanted to do. Second, it's going to be so warm over there. It's in the 50s, in the 40s. At night here in Seattle, and it's getting a little chilly. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a little chilly. That guy is still watching me. We're like making eye contact now. And when we go, I talked about in our scuba diving how the water here is about 51 degrees, and there it's 80 degrees, and it's a little stormy there right now, but when we're there it's supposed to clear up and be in the 80s while we're there. And let's talk about sun. I am like Edward Cullen pasty. I look pasty, but like I'm pasty, and the number of people that have told me that I should go get a spray tan or go to a tanning salon and get an artificial tan so that I don't fry so bad when I'm there is outstanding. Am I going to do that? No. Should I have done that? Probably, but I have done my research, and I bought this tanning lotion that is supposed to help darken your skin, and I also have this tanning sunscreen oil that's also supposed to give yourself a natural darker tint to your skin, and it helps to tan your skin. So what I'm gonna do is, I leave in 5 days, so today I'm going to put on the tanning lotion that is supposed to give me a darker tone to my skin, that natural tan look. I'm going to do that today, and then it takes 24 hours to develop, and tomorrow, depending on what it looks like, I might do it again so that I can be a little darker. And I'm nervous because I don't want to look orange while I'm there, but I really want to protect my skin, and I just didn't have enough time when I found out about this being an issue to have enough days to go to a tanning salon to have it be effective with the natural tan. So we're gonna see, because I tan really fast once I burn. Like when I burn, it's really bad, and then about 24 hours later it goes to a tan, and then from there I just keep getting more and more tan. It's been the same with all of my siblings, all of us growing up. So I'm not super nervous, I'm not super worried about the tanning aspect of it. I just really don't want to have a sunburn the first day that I'm there, because wearing swimsuits is gonna hurt, wearing my rash guard is gonna hurt, scuba diving is gonna be terrible with a sunburn because you have to wear the BCD, and it's heavy and it sits on your shoulders, and where it sits it already kind of hurts with everything going on with the muscles, and I am not living for that. So if I have to go to Mexico looking like an orange sunburn goblin, then I'm gonna have to do that, because I need to make sure that my skin is good. Second, safety. I'm a little nervous about my safety. I know that on the resort I'll be good, but I've been reading some reviews where some people are like, you need to make sure to have all of your personal items on you 100% of the time, otherwise somebody could break into your hotel room and steal everything. Don't leave your passports there, don't leave your IDs, your phone, your cameras, everything, don't leave it there. Don't bring any personal items with you. Don't bring any belongings that could get stolen or are attractive, because they'll get stolen and people will steal them. Don't leave things out by the beach because people will steal them. When you go scuba diving and snorkeling, bring everything with you into the water, because if you leave it on the boat, they'll be stolen. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh. Oh, that's really nerve-wracking. But from what I've been able to research and gather, it looks like things in the resort are pretty safe, right? You don't want to be leaving piles and piles of money out, because, right, that can't be controlled. I did get one of those apartment locks, you know, like the traveling apartment locks that people have. I got one of those, and I'm going to use it for the hotel room, just kind of for the extra sense of security. I'm not going to be there alone, and that also helps me because I'll be going with Kyler, but his parents and brothers will also be there with us, so that'll be a lot of fun and definitely add to the sense of security while we're there and on the resorts. I've read reviews for the resorts, and if you leave things on like your chair by the pool where you are, you're fine, but if you leave things on the beach for several hours and then come back, they're going to be gone. And obviously that's just kind of common knowledge. If not somebody stealing them, then somebody from the resort could think that maybe you left them and take them to the lost and found, right? So just being mindful. I also read somewhere that if you go to the off the resort different places and tourist locations and they see you carrying expensive looking things, they'll charge you more for entry, even if a sign has it posted that it's a certain price. And that in a lot of places they prefer to have and to be paid and to be tipped by US dollars instead of pesos or instead of any other method, because I actually don't really know why. I just read that and I wrote it down on my list of things to remember while I'm there. My dog, Gucci, stop it. My dog is now trying to crawl off the balcony and being attacked by seagulls. So bringing a lot of tip money, I've read everywhere that just bringing dollars and $5 bills is the way to go. I'm not really nervous in that sense. I'm also nervous about the food. I'm not a super picky eater, but I am kind of a picky eater in the sense that I don't love onions. Like when I cook with onions, I generally leave them big so that I can pull them out before I finish the meal. Same thing with a ton of garlic and a whole bunch of seasonings. Now I love Mexican food. I love traditional Mexican food, and I'm really excited for that, but I am nervous because I've read a lot of places when you're at the airport there and off the resorts to not eat the produce or the fruits, because that's where the issues come. So I'm just trying to get myself ready. I've been taking pre and probiotic and an immunity health support, and obviously we'll have some while we're there as well. I also have these cute little packing cubes that I've been putting everything into for my trip, and I'm really excited. I'm going to show you guys that video as well, and it's going to be real great because I am an overpacker for sure. I'm an overanalyzer in every sense of the term. I had lists planned weeks ago of everything that I wanted to bring, and I've probably packed and repacked my suitcase to make sure everything was organized how I liked it about 3 times. And we're leaving in 5 days, and my boyfriend is the kind of person who's going to pack the night before, and when I get there I'm sure there will be 1 or 2 things that I've forgotten, but he'll have everything exactly where he needs to. And I think it's just one of the superpowers that you have when you're a boy that you get to just throw everything in and it's good to go and there are no issues. I'm really excited for the warm weather. Like I mentioned, the sun is something that I'm excited about and nervous about. And another thing that I was a little nervous about is when we were getting certified for scuba diving, they talked about the importance of checking the cylinders, of checking the gear, making sure that everything works, making sure that everything has been serviced within a reasonable amount of time. And they had mentioned that sometimes when you go to the more resort places, sometimes when you go to other countries, because they use the gear so often, they don't check it. Well, they check it very frequently, but sometimes some slip through the cracks, or sometimes they think that they've checked it but they haven't. Sometimes things get mixed up, so it's very important that we pay attention. And a lot of the reviews that I was reading, people seem happy with, you know, maybe some of the shortcuts. So we had extra air, or we used more air than we normally do. And I'm really nervous because from just getting out of the certification, I feel really retentive. I feel really, you know, focused on making sure that we follow everything down to a T, and I'm nervous that when we go there, they're going to want to be a lot more lax with the regulations of and how to be safe, and I'm totally going to be the party pooper if that's the case. Like, I'm mentally preparing myself now to be the party pooper if that's the case, because I don't mess with stuff like that. Don't mess with stuff like that. And on the note of being a party pooper, I am also with my lists, I like to have a little bit of an itinerary, and I am a teensy bit nervous because with where we're going, we don't have a set itinerary. And in the past, when I've gone on trips with my family or with friends, we kind of, even my day, I have everything planned down to a T, like boom, 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 like 9:30, 10, 10 to 11, 11:15 to 11:45, and I have these blocks filled in on what I'm going to be doing during these different times, and I don't have that right now for my trip, and I'm a little nervous that we're gonna, you know, obviously when you go on vacation, you want there to be a lot of downtime. You want to have a lot of time where you're able to just relax, but I'm not good at doing that. So this is going to be interesting for me because it's going to be a little bit of a test of wills. If you'll say I'm bringing a couple books, I'll have my phone for ebooks. I work from my phone. I'll have my laptop with me, so I'll have things that I can do if we're kind of lounging by the pool. But when it comes to just, oh, you know, like I know for sure Kyler's going to want to sleep in a couple days, right? He's going to want to sleep in until like 10, 11 noon because he can, right? We're on vacation, and my body wakes me up at about 7. So I'm trying to figure out if I can maybe schedule my own little itinerary to go by, and then if it changes, then I'll have to be okay with doing that. But if we're not doing anything, then I can go my little itinerary. I've never planned a trip like this before, and I'm having a lot of help. We're not having to plan everything ourselves, so I don't have 100% of this information, but I do know that it was a little frustrating when we were booking our flights that we had to pay an additional amount to be able to guarantee that we'd be sitting together. I don't know if that's something for just international flights, but when we booked our flight, we booked it months ago, right? So we knew that we were going to be going on a trip. We just didn't know the specifics, so we got the insurance on it. But it was a certain price for the booking, for the standard, right? No upgrades. It was for the standard seat, and we had to pay an additional amount to guarantee that we'd be sitting together. Otherwise, it's 100% random. And obviously, with the pandemic, they've been cracking down on the assigned seatings. But growing up, whenever we went on a plane, even if they were assigned, everyone just kind of sat wherever they wanted to. So I don't know if that's just the airline that I'm flying with. I believe we're going with Delta, but if that's something that you guys experience, have you had to pay extra amounts to make sure that you're sitting together, to make sure rooms were together? Let me know down below. If you have any tips on avoiding some serious sunburn, let me know down below as well, because I mean, look at me, I'm practically sparkling with this Edward Cullen energy here. I'm practically a vampire, and I live in Seattle, which is perfect, and it backs it up to boot it. But I think that all in all of the reasons that I'm excited, they're all kind of gonna mold together just like it did for scuba diving. I'm sure, you know, everyone is scared to do new things, and with me going out of the country, it's gonna be really interesting to see how I handle it. If there's any type of jet lag, I mean, obviously it's not a huge time difference, but that could factor into things. And some of the things and tips that I'm learning along the way with planning and being able to prepare for anything, I'm definitely going to be sharing those videos with you guys below, especially because I have probably spent hours on Pinterest figuring out what the best things to pack for clothes, swimsuits, toiletries, medicinal items, and all of that. And I'm going to share that in a video with you guys coming soon. But thanks so much for listening in, and I'll catch you guys next time.